Alright, y'all already know who it is. Basically, so we had no school today, Wednesday, October 9th. It's a Jewish holiday. So I had the whole day to do whatever I wanted to, right? Just like this past summer. And basically, what you encounter in that is that when you have no other responsibilities, or even if you do, you go to work, school, whatever, you come home, free time. What do you do with that time? How do you feel the non-obligatory hours that you have? Now you say, oh, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that, I'm going to achieve this, I'm going to work on that, I'm going to do this. But then, yeah, that's all fine and dandy. What if you don't do any of those things? And you're left the entire day, basically, yeah, you can do things, but even in the action, the overall feeling, the vibe that you have is empty boredom. And it's not even boredom, because boredom is a very good place to be in. Because during the summer, this past summer, I felt a lot of boredom every day. And as I felt more of it, I was like, what am I going to do with this? And I started creating a life for myself and a routine and things and ideas and educating myself and started all of those things. But now that I'm out of that period, now it's, school time, it's like, oh, now I'm thrust back into the environment. How do I create a life for myself outside of my obligations? And that's the thing. Like humans are a very interesting subject, to be honest. We have drives to do. Okay, live. Okay, I want to stay away from danger, protect myself. Yeah, stay away from danger, protect yourself, reproduce, eat food, and yeah, basically that's it. But when in modern society, here in most parts of America, if you have those things, if you have decent food, if you have water, you have a roof over your head, you know, there's no impending doom at your doorstep. That happens a lot in America and especially all over the world. But if none of that is really affecting you, then it's like, okay, now what do I do? Like, you know what I'm saying? My reptile brain is kind of shut off. Now I'm in this new space where my brain is still evolving, adapting to about all these complex things, books, musical instruments that are very intricate, video games, beds, housing, SAT, skating. I'm going off on a tangent, but just things that are so far removed from our initial base instincts as humans. It's like to put them to all compartmentalize them and to prioritize them in what order that we should do them. It's like, oh, that can happen. But once you start prioritizing your day and things that you do after those, basic instincts have been accounted for, you have one or two options. It can go one of two ways. You can either do those things and feel pretty good about yourself at the end of the day, or you can either do none of those things and be like, yo, I really did nothing today. And you can either feel bad about yourself, or you can just feel empty, as I feel right now. I had a whole day. I planned to do a lot of things. Didn't do any of them. And, it's like, it just happens sometimes. And it's a fallacy, really. It's a fallacy of the human of expectation. Because we know that we die, because we're conscious of the past and the present, we have this thought of linear time. Humans, we get into this thing called expectation. Expectations. You expect to do things in the future because you're living in the present. You do things, and now you can say, okay, I'm going to do this tomorrow, in 5 minutes, in a year, in a month, or whatever. But then but you have no real control over what happens 1 second from now. After I'm done recording this video, I don't know what's going to happen. Therefore, I'm almost at a fault, initially from expecting to do or be in a certain state of mind or a certain state of living, such as, oh, I expect to wake up tomorrow. I don't know. I have no evidence to say that I will do that, or I expect to go to school and for it not to be shot up. How do I know that? I don't know that. Or I expect to be successful in life. I don't know that. I feel like I will, from self-esteem, but how do you really know what the future is? We cannot tell the future. We just expect. And when our expectations of the future are not met, we get disappointed, frustrated, sad, or just, kind of empty. For me, when I go into these feelings of not doing things, I don't feel sad. I just feel empty because, you know what I'm saying? I don't go into that emotional space of feeling bad. I just cut off the emotions, you know what I'm saying? So, what I'm trying to get at here is really like we got to realize that even though we do expect things to happen, we got to realize as humans living in such a chaotic world and having such chaotic minds and consciousness that like and since life is so complicated that it doesn't matter what you expect to do or what you expect to be in a minute, 2 minutes, a day, a week, a month, a year, decades, your entire life, or even your legacy, your kids, this country, the entire world, this species, what we want to be, what life will be like. You know, even though you may expect things about that, and it's best to have optimism instead of being such a pessimist, even though I do have pessimistic tendencies, I do opt for optimism, pun intended, that you have to realize that shit could go left in about 2.5 seconds. So really and truly, if you don't meet expectations for that day or whatever, you have to realize it doesn't matter, that expectations are a farce in itself, that humans are not God. We can't say, okay, I'm going to set this path and it'll happen like this exactly how I want. It just doesn't work like that. So I guess to any of you who may be feeling unmotivated or frustrated that you didn't do anything for the day or whatever, or you didn't achieve what you wanted to achieve, you have to realize life is complicated. Life is a process. And, yeah, you can expect things, but hey, if it doesn't happen, it doesn't happen. You just got to keep rolling, you know what I'm saying? That's what it is. East side repping.